What if your silence wasn't abandonment but preparation? You've been faithful, but now everything feels like it's falling apart. You've prayed and heard nothing. You've served and still feel forgotten. You're not running from God, but you can't feel Him near. Is this a punishment? Did you miss His voice? Have you been abandoned, or could it be something else? Could this be a test? Let me introduce you to Mara, a faithful daughter, a passionate worship leader, a committed prayer warrior, but now she's silent. She believed, she declared, she fasted, and yet her father slipped into a coma. Friends said, just keep trusting God, but her heart cried, why would God let this happen? This wasn't just a crisis of circumstance. It became a crisis of faith, not because she stopped loving God, but because she no longer understood what He was doing. Why the silence? Why the pain? Was God testing her? The Bible doesn't hide it. God tests His people, not to destroy them, but to develop them, not to punish, but to prepare, because there are some things God reveals only in the silence, only in the shadows. Let's look at 3 signs that you might be in a test from God. Sign number 1, silence from heaven. Job was a man who feared God and walked in righteousness. Yet he suffered deeply, and in the midst of his suffering, he said this in the book of Job, chapter 30, verse 20. I cried to you for help, and you do not answer me. I stand, and you only look at me. Heaven was silent, but it wasn't absent. When God is testing you, He may grow quiet. Not to reject you, but to stretch your faith beyond what you can feel. Think of it like this. When a teacher gives a test, the classroom grows silent because silence is the sign that the test has begun. Sign number 2, everything seems backward. Joseph was given a dream, a divine promise of leadership and favor, but instead of rising, he fell. His brothers betrayed him. He was sold into slavery, then falsely accused, and thrown into prison. 13 years of setbacks, but listen to his words in the book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. When God is testing you, things might move in the opposite direction of the promise, but hear this, the tension is in the pullback. The breakthrough comes after the stretch. God was not forgetting Joseph. He was forming him, and He may be forming you too. Sign number 3, the hiddenness of purpose. God called Abraham and told him to go, but He didn't tell him where. God told Elijah to go into hiding and fed him with ravens. He told the Israelites to march around Jericho, but gave no explanation as to why. Why? Because faith doesn't require full clarity. It requires full trust. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When God is testing you, you may lose clarity, but gain trust. That's where Mara found herself. She didn't get an answer. She didn't get a sign. She didn't even get peace at first, but she found the whisper in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. She realized something important. The test wasn't about her ability to perform. It was about her willingness to still believe, and that was the breakthrough. The storms didn't suddenly stop. The desert didn't shrink. The outcome was still unknown, but her spirit had been changed. In the book of James, chapter 1, verses 3 and 4, the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So if you're in a season of silence, if everything feels backward, if your prayers seem to echo into nothingness, it may not be because you failed, and it may not be because God is far. It may simply be this: God is testing you, not to fail you, but to forge you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. He's forming something in you that can only be formed in fire. So ask yourself this: are you trusting God only when He speaks? or even when He is silent, because the silence might not be absence, it might be the beginning of something greater if this message speaks to your season. Don't keep it to yourself, share it, pray on it, let God use your test as someone else's testimony.